Hi there. Congratulations on this third series. What's so different about Brother Day in this season?
Well, every season I get to play a different Cleon, and this season I thought it would be fun to play a Cleon who just doesn't really care about being the emperor, and he just wants to, get fat and happy and stoned in the garden with his girlfriend. And I think it was a fun place to start with the character, that he's presents his brothers thinking that they can control the galaxy. They never seem to do much good anyway. Galaxy's going to do what it wants to do. I think it's an interesting attitude towards power. I think that's really the Cleon story always examines dominance and power and how people manipulate it, what good it does anyone, and the fact that he's like, well, you guys do it. I don't care. It's an interesting point of view.
It's the best attitude to have, especially in these circumstances, the world we live in nowadays.
Yeah, but he doesn't, as you'll see if you watch the season, he doesn't get to retain that luxury of ignorance for very long, because he is who he is, and he does get pulled into the center of where the story, when the mule enters the story, it really is the time is now. The wolf is at the door. We have to. It's now. It's now. It's now. What Harry Seldon had predicted, the dark age that humans may never survive, is coming. Like it's coming right now. I think it's very interesting to have someone with a unique idea of what power is and capable of and what it's worth. Interesting. I don't want to say right or wrong, because I don't think that's what this show does. It offers different perspectives.
Laura, Demerzel, it has a sort of function in this season which is actually quite important. What was it about her character in this particular season that really made you sort of think about her motivations or your character's motivations, really?
I think every season I notice kind of coming closer and closer to these questions of what defines us as human beings. Is she more human than humans, or is she too mechanical to be a human? And kind of what is her? Is there any freedom of choice that she has? She's programmed to do certain things, but I think her holding the prime radiant kind of offers suddenly these little bit new paths of thinking, like what kind of choices maybe there is a possibility of choosing differently, and kind of, but all this kind of the crisis that is coming closer, and her being by herself, like literally the only one of her species, but like carrying the responsibility of another species and what's going to happen. It's so pressured. I felt it was even claustrophobic. Like her, she just needs to resolve these huge problems by herself, and kind of very controlled. So. And at the same time, even though she kind of remains the same, her character remains the same, but because the people around her kind of change, there's always a new version of the Cleon or the Cleonic. So that also kind of like puts her in a different path. So, but I felt it was kind of, it's like a pressure kettle that's inside her this season that kind of like twists her in a very, very inner way. It was,
I suppose a question for both of you. I mean, the themes here, any Asimov themes are usually not only are they universal, but they're also philosophical, and they're like deeply philosophical. Were either of you fans of his writing at all? And did you go back, when you got the role, did you go back and sort of read up on that?
I had read the first book before the series came to me. And then I read the rest, but I'm a fan of science fiction. So one of the things that I, in my mind, Isaac Asimov did was he really contributed. I wouldn't say he's the only one, but he contributed to the invention of sci-fi, speculative fiction in that way. Not just science fiction, but speculative fiction, where you take what we're looking at here on this planet right now and abstract it in this bigger way. We're not just looking at a country or a planet, we're looking at the galaxy. And this man is not just a powerful man, he's the emperor of the galaxy. This is not just a piece of technology, this is an incredibly complex, possibly emotional, possibly sentient. That's the interesting question about Demerzel, and you play it so beautifully. She is a piece of technology, but she also has emotion. Is that possible when we think about AI? Can they become so sophisticated that they have a sentience that is as valuable as we consider our own sentience? It's not so much that they might destroy us. Really, the question is, if they develop that kind of sensitivity, do we have any moral obligation to them? Because we've made them.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!
Hey, that's what they all say.
Hey, you guys!
Hey, you guys!